Hi, welcome back to the Comcast Social Media Lounge at South by Southwest. I'm Matthew Selmy. I'm the Vice President for External Affairs for Comcast. First, let's get the social media part done. Our hashtag today is Comcast South by Southwest. And today we've got a panel from Pittsburgh, a place where many things are going on. Let's start by introducing yourselves.
Hi, I'm Abhay Adlabatkar. I'm the founder of Redmorph. We are an anti-privacy, anti-tracking company. So our goal is to create comprehensive but yet easy to use, solutions for common people to prevent tracking, from the internet service providers to all the way to websites and apps on their devices as well as browsers.
My name is Brian Gaudio. I'm the CEO of Module. We're a housing startup. We think there is a better, more affordable, efficient way to do housing in America, and so we are designing a house that grows with your family. And we're here at South by Southwest as a finalist for the Accelerator Pitch Competition.
Hi, I'm Alicia McGinnis, a Pittsburgher through and through, and I'm Executive Director of 40 by 80, which is the latitude and longitude of Pittsburgh. And I'm an angel investor, and I'm also leading a nonprofit organization, and our goal is to bring together a synergy between public and private interests to develop a super powerful ecosystem in Pittsburgh, really driving our innovation to provide well-being for every demographic.
So, Pittsburgh is a place that has a lot of buzz right now. Much of it identifying with autonomous vehicles, robotics. What I think is so amazing is the diversity of the economy. Talk a little bit about why you base your business and are choosing to grow in Pittsburgh, starting with you, Abe.
Well, Pittsburgh has a lot of positive things to it. So starting with the technology itself, Pittsburgh is now the center for cybersecurity. With two world-class universities, Carnegie Mellon and University of Pittsburgh, the government has set up CERT and SEI in Pittsburgh. So that's the first thing, and the second piece is just the source of labor. I mean, just hiring some of the smartest engineers from around the world coming to these communities, and then the cost of living. Pittsburgh is a foodie capital of the country, after all, and just the cost of living and just everything from an art and culture perspective. It's a great place to, start a family and
So talk a little bit about, you've been on a journey, you've been in Austin, you've been in the Bay Area, you could be anywhere. You just talked about some of the great things for Pittsburgh for you, but what's the hidden story in all of that, and why talent stays there rather than flees?
Well, I won't say that talent does not flee Pittsburgh, but for me personally, I started my career here in Austin, working at Motorola, and then moving up north. I went to school at Columbia, and I worked at Bell Labs, AT&T Bell Labs in the New Jersey area. So I had the chance to start the company either on the East Coast or West Coast or down south over here. But the reason why I chose Pittsburgh was precisely, the access to talent, access to technology, but also a wonderful city to grow. And now also meeting, just well-wishers and people that connect us, entrepreneurs, mentor us and connect us to capital. People like Alicia, that really helps us, stay there and grow the. Help with just growing the economy and helping the economy over there.
So, Brian, you're in a city where things have traditionally been made. You're coming to tech from a design perspective. Pittsburgh's got to be a great mesh for you in terms of all of those things plus quality of life.
Sure. I think, as Abe mentioned, that because quality of life is so high in Pittsburgh, you have a lot of young people moving there. So we actually have one of the fastest growing millennial populations of cities around the country. And so that means a lot of them are going there because they're looking to maybe establish themselves. And so as a housing company, as a housing startup, we're trying to target these first-time homebuyers, folks who maybe have been priced out in New York and are looking for a great city, but somewhere that they can live comfortably. And so I think that benefits us as a housing startup.
So when you go to fabricate, you do business development. Talk a little bit about what the ecosystem means to you.
Sure. I think Pittsburgh's rich history being the steel capital of the world, right? There's something about making in Pittsburgh, and there's something that folks in Pittsburgh appreciate physically. Hardware companies, they appreciate that process. And so in Pittsburgh, there are a ton of companies that are hardware spinouts. Our company is in a hardware accelerator called Alpha Lab Gear. And so kind of the lineage of people making great things still is in the culture in Pittsburgh.
So Comcast has been investing a lot in Pittsburgh. We're very proud of the partnerships we've developed there. But Alicia, you're in the middle of all of it. You're not only an investor, you're really somebody who is helping to connect the dots so that Pittsburgh moves forward. Talk a little bit about what it means to connect those dots and how the story of Pittsburgh is changing.
Well, Pittsburgh has always been an innovation leader and continues to be an innovation leader, and Carnegie Mellon University and the University of Pittsburgh are both major movers. The University of Pittsburgh has over $500 million invested annually in life sciences, and Carnegie Mellon is a leader in all types of industries, robotics, data analytics, game design, theater. It is truly a powerhouse. So as far as trying to be in the center of all that, to actually develop an ecosystem where companies can thrive is something that takes a lot of constituents getting involved. And I would like to point out the fact that my office is at Nova Place, where Comcast invested alongside of the Buell Foundation, which is a major foundation in Pittsburgh, and invested in placing very high-speed Wi-Fi and a media development lab so that residents in the north side could go and utilize that media lab and find a voice to get their ideas out. But to be at the center of this, I especially want to make a call out to the fact that there's a group called the Consensus Group that measures how healthy a startup ecosystem actually is, and it's a very intentional effort. And I could talk on and on about some of those factors that go into creating a healthy startup ecosystem. And certainly Austin, Texas is a great predecessor for those factors really being strong. And as a result, companies really being able to grow and anchor the region. And that's what we're trying to accomplish in Pittsburgh, too. We have great innovation. We're really trying to create anchor companies.
Eds and Meds have obviously been a big part of that story. Retaining talent is the other part of the story. But you're at South by Southwest. You're trying to help Pittsburgh stand out here. What's the quick pitch from you on why Pittsburgh matters? Because we know it does, but how do you drive that message?
Well, Pittsburgh is if you've ever been there, it's a collection of neighborhoods that still retain a very strong identity. And there's a high loyalty to your neighbor in Pittsburgh. And some of you may know about the Kaufman Index, which ranks regions based on their entrepreneurial strength. And one of the indexes measures Main Street entrepreneurialism, meaning pizza shops, laundry shops, boutiques, all those types of Main Street shops. And Pittsburgh is #1 in the country in terms of the number of shops that stay open for 16 years. So you walk down any street in Pittsburgh and you're really experiencing a connection with people and what they want to bring to the game. So Pittsburgh is absolutely unique in that way. There's a reverence for innovation and excellence. It goes all the way back to George Westinghouse. And there's just a culture there that is very unique. It's a very influential American city, and we've gone through a number of renaissances, but we're trying to now really make a mark here in sort of what we call the fourth industrial revolution, right, with the digital age and artificial intelligence, and we really want to anchor that to our legacy of super fine neighborhoods.
Your perspective on that?
I couldn't agree more, and I just wanted to add, like, we had the Steelers and Penguins too.
It is Titletown, correct? And the city of bridges, but I love a phrase that you used before. You're starting to call it cyborg.
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at from a cybersecurity perspective, some of the leading cryptography-based research is happening there in Pittsburgh. So just the ability to work with professors and leading industry specialists on trying to solve this problem of internet tracking and privacy is just huge for us.
Brian, you're in a traditional industry, but talk about Pittsburgh from your perspective to bring us home.
Sure. I think the tech industry and how it's affected certain cities like San Francisco and New York, where you see rents rising very quickly and affordable housing being a really big challenge for that city to stay a beautiful place for everyone to live. And I think Pittsburgh is unique because we have affordable housing today, and we have the opportunity to create inclusive, equitable innovation, and we think that our company, Module, can provide a housing solution so that Pittsburgh can become innovative but stay affordable for people.
Alicia, we walk away from Austin, you're going to take ideas back. What's something that you've seen here that you know will work in Pittsburgh that you're going to bring home and help execute?
Well, obviously, from my understanding, Austin developed primarily out of Dell Computer, and Dell continues to be a major player in the industry. And it has impact in workforce development that is a perfect example of what we want to create in Pittsburgh, where we have these companies that impact people with high school diplomas and really giving back to the community. And we need to bring a lot more capital and a lot more enterprise-level strategic partners to Pittsburgh to engage with the innovation there and to help us grow some of the companies right there in Steel City.
So, perfect way to bring it all home. I want to thank our panelists for joining us today in the Comcast Social Media Lounge at South by Southwest. Please tweet, share our story, but make sure that the fine people of Pittsburgh, whose story is monumental, are heard. Thank you.
Thank you.